Chapter 3. The First Night, when the city breaks its smile. Los Angeles looked different after dark without power. Not quiet, not calm, predatory. The sun had barely dipped below the skyline when the soft orange of dusk got swallowed by black. The moonlight was weak. Even the stars seemed reluctant to shine over the chaos building below. Remy Alvarez walked down First Street with the silent confidence of someone who had been trained for the night. But even she could feel the air shift. It wasn't just darkness, it was lawlessness waiting to exhale. Car alarms bleated like dying goats. Groups of men and teenagers loitered on corners, watching. Some wore hoodies, some held beer bottles, but all of them had the same look in their eyes: opportunity. Remy adjusted her pack and scanned for reflective glass, windows, windshields, anything that left her check her six without turning her head. That old cop muscle memory was now her best friend. She'd chosen a less crowded path towards East Los Angeles. But less crowded doesn't mean safe. And a blackout, even the familiar becomes dangerous. She passed the gas station where a man with a pistol tucked in his waistband was arguing with the cashier over a generator. No one had called the cops. Maybe no one could. Remy crossed the street. Meanwhile, Jazzy, on the other side of the city. Jazzy King was sitting on an outturned crate outside a shuttered vape shop, wrapped in Marcus's oversized hoodie. Her hair, once silky and camera ready, was now frizzy in the heat and fear. Her strappy heels were gone. Marcus had found her a pair of beat up sneakers from his cousin's house, one size too big. She felt ridiculous, but alive. She kept pulling out her phone and staring at the black screen like it might wake up. This can't be real, she whispered. Marcus tossed her a bag of gas station snacks, Cheetos, and a bottle of water. It's real, he said flatly, and it's gonna get worse. She stared at the bottled water. One day ago, she wouldn't have touched it without a glass straw. Now it looks like liquid gold. You need to figure out how you're going to get home, he continued. I live out east, Rancho Cucamonga, she muttered. Marcus gave her a low whistle. That's a walk. Jazzy blinked. No, like, I'll just get an Uber, or he didn't even let her finish. Girl, there's no Uber. Jazzy, there's no gas. There's no power, there's no trains. People are already fighting at the gas stations, girl. It was the first time her influencer armor cracked and tears slipped down her cheeks. Marcus softened. Hey, hey, look, you're alive. That's step one. But this city, by tomorrow night, is going to be a jungle. She shivered, but nodded. Back with Remy. Remy reached the edge of Bowl Heights just as the first crowd fire broke out near an abandoned strip mall. People gathered like moths to a flame. Some yelled about food, others just watched. She didn't stop. She didn't even slow down. As a cop, she's seen what happens when desperation and darkness meet. By midnight, grocery stores would be looted, and people who have smiled at each other in the morning will be pulling knives at night. She ducked into a narrow alley and slid down against the cold concrete, catching her breath. Her calves ached from the weight of her go bag. Her hands smelled faintly like gun oil. She took one long sip of her water and let the silence settle. But silence in a blackout isn't peaceful. It's listening. Two voices, male, close. She pressed her back tighter to the wall, pulling her Glock from her thigh holster. Heard they got generators over on Soto, one said. Man, I ain't waiting in no line. We take what we need. Remy closed her eyes. Yep, it's starting. They passed without seeing her, but her body stayed coiled, ready. This was the moment she always warned others about. Not the earthquake itself, not the storm. The night after, when civilization remembers it's made of thread. So back with Jazzy and Marcus. They found temporary shelter behind a mechanic shop Marcus worked at. It wasn't glamorous, but it had a metal roll-up door, clean floors, and a lock. He gave her a dirty hoodie to use as a pillow. Jazzy has never slept anywhere without AC. She wrapped her arms around herself and whispered, I just want to go home. You can, Marcus said, sitting near the door with a tire iron. But you're going to have to walk. And not like you walk into a brunch spot. Jazzy gave a short, bitter laugh. Yeah, I figured. You leave at first light, he said. And you don't go alone if you can help it. She didn't know it yet, but that sentence would be the thing that kept her alive. As the city moaned under its own weight, two women, one forged in crisis, one unprepared but learning fast, settled into different corners of the blackout. They didn't know each other yet, but their paths were already bending towards the same stretch of Highway East. And tomorrow, the road wouldn't just test their endurance, it would test their souls.